Hi, welcome to the shop. Today's video is going to be just a little different from other stuff I've done. I am going to do just a short review about a piece of equipment you might be thinking about for your shop. Now, just to make sure everybody's clear on this video is in no way sponsored by anybody other than myself. Anything that I show in this video has been paid for with my own money, and nobody has any idea who the hell I am. So keep that in mind as we go forward. This is my opinion and my opinion only. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get to business and let's talk about that thing up there. Okay, so what is that thing? Well, that, for those that may not know, is a mini split ductless air conditioner heat pump thing. Specifically, it is the Mr. Cool DIY single zone mini split heat pump system. I have the 12,000 BTU rated system, which is rated for up to 500 square feet, which is right about the size of what I got here for my full garage. I'm actually a little under that, so this is working really well. So I wanted to go over this briefly. I've had this for about 8 months now. And in that time, it has gone through the extremes. So let me tell you about my environment. First of all, I'm in Southwest Missouri. Here in Southwest Missouri, we actually get all the seasons: winter, summer, spring, fall, baseball, football, and college basketball. Get them all, sometimes all on the same day. As an example, we had a day in December, just a couple months ago, where the high for the day was around 74 degrees. The low that night was 23. That's the spread. Summer's here. It is easy for us to get up into the mid to upper 90s. 95 to 100 degrees is not out of the ordinary. For those of you that rely on the metric system, that's a range of about 35 to 38 Celsius. In the winter time, we can definitely get down below freezing. We had a day in January, about a month ago, from when I'm filming this, where the high for the day was like 11 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's what we're dealing with. So this has gone through the extremes in the few months that I've had it. I have had days of 98 degrees and higher with high humidity. We have had days of actual temperatures being below freezing, 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about minus 18 Celsius for those of you trying to keep up. We've gone through the extremes. So this did pretty well, honestly. On the hottest days this year, when we were up around 100 degrees Fahrenheit with high humidity, I had this set for around 75 for in here. And the warmest I saw with this running, I got up to almost 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 26 degrees Celsius. Yes, I took notes. So that was about the highest it let it get, which is just a couple of degrees higher than what I had it set at. Kept the garage comfortable. Something to keep in mind too, my garage, this house was finished back in 1982. So this house is over 40 years old. The garage walls are insulated all the way around, but that insulation is original to the house from 1982. So it's 40 plus year old insulation. I don't know what's in the walls. I am making an assumption it's the old Pink Panther roll, R something, probably like an R13. I'm guessing. I haven't taken off one of the panels to look. But that's kind of what was common around this area at that time frame. I have also replaced my main garage door with a new steel, fully insulated garage door. I have replaced the one window out here with a double pane insulated window. I do have one door at the back of the garage that is original to the house. It is a steel door that is a solid core, but it has draft issues around it because, again, it's over 40 years old. It's 40 years of weather and bugs and rodents and animals and just the normal things we get around here. It does have a draft. Now, all of that being taken into account, and the attic above me has blown-in insulation as well. With all of that taken into account, this stayed within 3 to 5 degrees of what I had it set at when the outside temperature was triple digits. So for this area, that's really good. Also, that meant that the humidity here in the shop was lower, which is a big deal since I got it full of hardwood. So I didn't have to be as concerned about the moisture content of my wood. The other end of that, here's where the thing had a little bit of an issue. So those of you that don't know, heat pumps work by, in essence, and I'm going to simplify this, basically pulling heat out of the air in one area and moving it to another area. So in the summertime, it's pulling the heat out of the shop and forcing it outside, which is what you want. In the wintertime, it pulls the heat from outside to bring inside. Where heat pumps have an issue is once you get below freezing temperatures, there's not much heat in the air for it to work with. That is not a limitation of the Mr. Cool system specifically. That is a thing with heat pumps in general. Now, I mean, if you're talking about heat pumps that are like geothermal, they have a different thing, and that's a whole different ball of wax. But for this style, that is an issue, and it's been known for years and years and years. This is not a knock on the Mr. Cool system or really on heat pumps in general, because we had days the outside temperature overnight would get below 0 Fahrenheit, negative temperatures Fahrenheit. Okay, and I mentioned earlier that 0 degrees Fahrenheit was a minus 18 Celsius, so it was below that for those of you in metric. This was able to keep my shop, with the insulation and the drafty back door, at about 50, which, yes, that's about 25 degrees-ish less than where I had it set, but it's still 50 degrees warmer than outside. Now, that did mean that there was a couple of days that it was a little cooler out here than I was comfortable with, so I lost shop time. But that's personal preference. For those of you that like cold weather, might be not a big deal. But that was that is really about the only knock I have on heat pumps in general is if you're in an environment where you're going to regularly get below freezing, you're going to have that issue. You will want to look at a supplemental heat source to go with this. I've got a small little Vornado forced air, that, little coils get hot and it blows air across it to help supplement when it gets that cold. However, that little tiny thing that I've got was all the supplementation it needed, really, because this was able to keep the shop in that 50 degree range, which made everything here much more comfortable than what I would have had before. So overall, as far as its performance, worked great. Summertime, 5 out of 5, excellent, did great. This shop, matter of fact, I was having contractors in during the summertime doing some work for me out here, and they would make it a point that they would, if they had to go out to their truck to get something, they would do everything as fast as they could and as few trips as possible so we could get the door closed so they could let this recover, which this recovers very rapidly. Once the door was closed back down, the temperature came back down to where I had it set pretty quick. So it was very comfortable here during the summer, and it was actually fairly comfortable during the wintertime, unless it got bitter cold. Then it was still okay. The installation part of it. This is one of those, as I mentioned, it is the DIY system. It comes with everything you need to put it in. It comes with all this. This is the installation and owner's manual, so it's fairly detailed. It was pretty easy. For the most part, I did it myself. My wife helped a couple of times, so I just needed an extra set of hands. But it's got the mounting plate, it's got the templates you need, it's got everything with it. The only thing you need to provide is a hole saw of about 3.5 inches and the drill. And then, of course, the manual labor yourself. Everything else comes with the kit. And it just hangs up. It went up really easy, really quick. I didn't feel like I was outclassed at any time, and it did really well for me. The only thing that I contracted out was the electrician. I had my electrician come in and put a disconnect for me outside. And I did that primarily because he knows the current city codes for electrical runs, and I do not. And I wanted to make sure that this house was kept up to code as close as possible. So I had him run the 220 line. This is a 110, but he ran a 220 and then the breakers, and we did hook all that up. But I had him run that for me. Otherwise, I did everything myself. Including put out a small pad and anchored it down, ran the cooling lines, ran the drip line, ran everything, and it was easy. Installation, I would say 4.8, 4.9 out of 5. just simply because there was a couple of things that they didn't warn me about ahead of time, primarily the electrical work that I needed to have done, which I did, find out, but not a big deal. It went really well. Overall, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, primarily due to the limitations of heat pumps with below freezing temperatures. And in my environment, we have winters that it doesn't ever get that cold. It gets to freezing or just below, but not zeros. We also have winters that we have several days below zero with ice. And that's our big problem here is ice, not usually snow. So overall, a 4.5 out of 5. If you're in an environment that you don't deal with freezing temperatures, this thing is going to work great for you year round. If you're in an environment that gets below freezing occasionally, throw in a supplemental heater during those few days you need it, this is going to work fine. If you are in an environment that you are regularly below freezing several weeks or months out of the year, a heat pump may not be for you. You may want to look at something else. But I wanted to throw that out there for you guys, just in case anybody's looking into a system like this. Again, installation was easy, works great in the summertime, works really well in the wintertime when we're above freezing, works okay in the winter when we're below freezing. Overall, am I happy with it? Yes. Would I do it again? Yes. Do I think it's worth the price? Again, yes. So the few cons it has, I think, are minor enough to overlook, and the pros outweigh them significantly. So there you go. There's my unofficial, highly opinionated old man review of the Mr. Cool DIY series single zone mini split system in the 12,000 BTU range. I got mine from Costco. They are available from dealers all over the place, both stores and online. So it's easy for you to find. And that's it. That's all I got for today, guys. So if you'd like to keep up with what we're doing in the shop, which I've actually got some builds going on right now, please hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions I didn't cover about this thing today or anything else in general, go ahead and throw those in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and let the YouTube algorithm master builder server know that I did a good job. So in the meantime, if you want to see things I've done in the past, check this video over here, whichever one it shows you. And until the next video, y'all be good to each other, and we'll see you later.